Hello everyone! In this class, we're going to unpack the relevance of Yuan and the Orchids of Jiuwan stream to today's society. First of all, I'm going to talk about it from my own perspective as a Chinese peasant born after 1990. Then my British colleague David is going to cover mostly the same content, but completely in English. This is going to be fantastic English listening practice, so I suggest you listen several times until you get it all. And now, without any further ado, let's begin the class. 中国人喜欢借物喻人，比如把一些人物与特定的植物、动物联系在一起。这个并不是只有古代的人才会做。在今天，我将带大家了解一下，我们是如何将年轻一代的英雄与特定的事物联系在一起的。第一个例子来自足球界。曾经在1999年举行的美国女足世界杯中夺得过第2名的好成绩。中国女足也在世界舞台上为提高中国足球的声誉做出了巨大贡献，因此这支队伍被人们亲切地称为铿锵玫瑰。那么当你给外国人介绍的时候，该怎么说铿锵玫瑰呢？可以用这个词组 sonorous roses。roses 大家都知道是玫瑰的意思，而 sonorous意思是响亮的，在这里面可以翻译为铿锵，所以合起来就是 sonorous roses， 铿锵玫瑰。另外一个领域也有一位英雄，是著名的空军女飞行员于旭。在2016年，因为降落伞打开失败，年仅30岁的她不幸牺牲。于旭的经历鼓舞了他的同龄人，并且得到了金孔雀的称号。那么金孔雀用英文怎么翻译呢？应该是 Golden Peahen， 很多的英文媒体翻译成了 Golden Peacock， 其实这个翻译它并不正确啊，因为这里面的 Peacock 在英文中是雄性孔雀的意思，而雌性孔雀是 Peahen， 于是是一位女性啊，所以正确的翻译应该是 Golden Peahen。于旭之所以能够鼓舞一代人，不仅是因为他能够在一个男性主导的领域取得成就，还因为他一直追逐着一个从儿时就拥有的梦想。驾驶超音速战机给人带来的心理和生理挑战是常人难以想象的。有许多偏见认为，这对女性来说是个巨大的挑战。于旭在打破偏见方面发挥了关键作用。所以现在金孔雀这个名字将在属于他的80后的脑海里成为一个象征，一个勇气的象征，一个为了梦想而顽强拼搏的象征，一个打破男性和女性能力刻板印象的象征。通常，这些名字像屈原，在他们的生命悲剧性缩短后，得到了人们特别的认可和共鸣。于旭虽然英年早逝，但他在空中的英姿却永远被人铭记。我们还记得他生前驾驶着喷气式飞机，出现在中华人民共和国成立60周年的庆典时刻。这种给人们起象征性名称的过程是持续性的，在现代社会，我们也能看到这种现象，从而从侧面帮助我们理解，在古代屈原是如何被人们看待的。人们总是会去崇拜那些给他们力量和鼓舞的人，而中国人则把他们与一些特殊的、有正面意义的符号联系起来，去怀念这些伟大的灵魂。
There is something characteristically Chinese about associating people with particular flowers, plants, or even animals. However, this is not a habit that is confined to the ancient world. Aaron just took us through some more recent examples of Chinese people who have become heroes to the younger generation and who have become associated with particular things. The first example comes from the world of football. The women's football team has, comparatively speaking, been far more successful, getting as far as second place in the World Cup in one year. Well, the Chinese women's football team has done so much to improve the reputation of China on the international football stage that the whole team has received the affectionate sobriquet, the sonorous roses. Another hero in another domain who has earned that kind of title is Yu Xu, who was a renowned female Air Force pilot. She died tragically in 2016 at the age of over 30 when her parachute failed to open. She was an inspiration for her generation and was given the name of Jin Kongxue, or golden peahen. We're tempted to translate this name as golden peacock, but of course peacock in English refers only to the male bird, not the female, which is a peahen. Anyway, Yu Xu was an inspiration to a whole generation, not just because she succeeded in what was normally a very male-dominated field, but she also pursued a dream that she had had ever since she was a very young girl. When news of her death hit the headlines, people across the nation were heartbroken. One journalist, writing for the People's Daily, who interviewed her twice, remembered a woman with incredibly lively and vivid eyes, full of energy and life. The journalist also remembered, though, her incredible tenacity. Yu Xu was part of a squadron which performed aerial acrobatics. The journalist recalled interviewing her after a day of such training, and she looked absolutely exhausted and told her that a day of such training was so physically intense that your body almost felt like it didn't belong to you afterwards. Piloting a supersonic fighter jet places psychological and physical demands that are hard to imagine for those who haven't tried it. Subtle prejudices will tend to assume that a woman will find it too great a challenge. Yu Xu played a really important role in breaking through that kind of prejudice. So now the name Golden Peahen will always resonate in the minds of her post-80s generation as a symbol of courage, fighting hard to realize dreams, and as a symbol of how we should break down stereotypes about what men and women are capable of. Often these kinds of names, as with Yuan, gain particular currency and resonance with people after their life is tragically cut short. Yu's most glorious moment in most people's eye was the moment that she flew a jet to commemorate the 60th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China.
我想，对于很多年轻人来说，屈原最近一次变成讨论话题是在电视剧《芈月传》热播的时候，因为演员的精彩表现，又让观众开始关注到这个历史人物，也包括我在内啊。我看历史电视剧一般会有一个习惯，如果有哪个人物让我比较感兴趣，就会再查资料做一些 research。那每一次 research 其实都会带来一些惊喜，改变一些我对这个历史人物的刻板印象。所以这次我也想把我看到的一些资料简单分享一下。屈原的职业是一名官员，而且是一名清官，所以说大家会把他联想成包拯或者狄仁杰那样，戴一顶乌纱帽，不苟言笑。虽然内心充满阳光正义，但是外表还是不怒而威。屈原其实不是这种形象的。从他的文学作品来看，其实他是一个非常浪漫和感性的诗人。比如他在《离骚》里面描绘了对自己心爱的人求而不得的伤感。有很多说法是，这其实是他对自己国家楚国的比喻。里面的语言华丽优美，却一点都不做作，感觉王家卫的电影台词跟这个就有点像，描绘的情感很简单，有一点哀伤和文艺，但是绝不烂俗。同时，屈原还是一位非常精致的潮男。在《离骚》里面，屈原表达过自己对于时尚和衣着的理解：余幼好此其服兮，年既老而不衰。意思就是我这个人从小就喜欢华丽而怪异的衣服，虽说现在年纪大了，但这爱好一点没变。如果屈原生在现在，估计会成为所谓的时尚教主吧。时尚教主用英文怎么说呢？叫做 fashion icon。icon 的意思就是偶像，那么 fashion 时尚 fashion icon 放在一起就可以当做时尚偶像、时尚教主或者时尚达人。这也就可以理解为什么人们把屈原比喻成兰花，就像在第一集里面我们提到的，兰花顽强的生长过程，像极了屈原在官场中顽强的挣扎。而富有魅力的外表，又能让人联想到屈原漂亮的文字以及他的精致和高雅。
So this tendency to give people symbolic names is a process that is ongoing, and the fact that we can see the phenomenon in modern life helps us to gain some insight into how someone like Yuan was able to become such a symbol back in his day. People have an unstoppable desire to hold up certain individuals as people to be admired, and in China there is a particular tendency to commemorate people through certain symbols and images. Aaron remembers that in his post-1990s generation, the name of Yuan was most associated with a particular TV series. The actors and actresses in that series were very popular with his generation. For Aaron, much of his interest in Chinese history arose out of watching historical dramas like this, and he had a habit of doing further research into characters whom he particularly liked or admired from historical dramas. As Aaron found out more and more about Yuan, he realized that he was very different from what he had expected. The first impression most people have of Yuan is that he was an upright and honest government official. Although he was someone to be admired, Aaron had assumed that he was also rather serious and humorless. However, the more he found out about him, especially the more he found out about his poetry, the more he realized that Yuan was in fact a very romantic man with great artistic sensibilities. He could write beautifully about the pain associated with not finding love. On the other hand, he was also someone who knew how to enjoy life. Some of the examples of his ability to relish life can be found in his Li Sao poetry, where, for example, he talks about clothing style and fashion. Aaron went so far as to describe him as a fashion icon. For Aaron, this is why the comparison of Yuan to the orchid is so appropriate. He is someone who was incredibly charming, but also had great inner strength.